Tales of monstrous, man-eating anacondas have been recounted for centuries by tribespeople of the Amazon basin, some of whom are said to worship these giant snakes. Anacondas are among the most ferocious and enormous creatures on Earth, growing in certain cases as long as 40 feet. Unique among snakes, they are not satisfied after eating a victim. They will regurgitate their prey in order to kill and eat again.
Hi.
Hi! That's Jacob.
That's Mickey.
Coming at you from the Poe House. But not forever. Okay. So it is Movie Monday. We couldn't convince Alexandria to stay with us on Movie Monday. She's being a pain about that. So y'all let us know below that you want Alexandria back in our videos. Okay. So today's movie is, and we missed this somehow, you know, because we're trying to go alphabetical. Somehow we missed this. I don't know. We're dorks apparently. So anyway, our next movie is
Anaconda.
Anaconda. Not Anacondas, but Anaconda.
Take a guess what we're going to watch next.
Ta-da. So this movie came out in 1997. It is 89 minutes long and rated PG-13. There is one F-bomb in there, so if you're planning on watching this with kids, just be aware of that, and there is some other swearing. It was produced by Verna Hara, Leonard Rabinowitz, and Carol Little. Easiest name ever. It was directed by, I'm so sorry because I'm very white, so I will mispronounce this, I am sure, but it's Luis Rosa. It's L-L-O-S-E, and I know the double L in Spanish is like, yeah, Yorza. I don't know. I tried. I really tried. It stars Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, John Voight, Eric Stoltz, Jonathan Hyde, Owen Wilson, and Carrie Wurr. How do you say her name? Waher.
I don't know.
Maybe I should have looked that up before we started.
Maybe.
It also has a special guest appearance by Danny Trejo, long before he became Machete.
Yeah.
Synopsis.
I had a brilliant idea. I could just read the backs of these covers for the synopsis. So.
Wow.
What? It's far better than me trying to be like, well, this guy did this thing and the... Deep in the...
It was using your creative mind, though. See, and it was developing that creativity in you.
Whatever. Deep in the Brazilian rainforest, a river barge makes its way up the Amazon. Aboard is a documentary film crew with a dream assignment, to track down the legendary Shirishama Indians, the people of the mist. But during a violent storm, the crew rescues a mysterious stranger, Paul Sharon, played by John Voight.
Sharon?
Sharon, sorry.
I was going to say, I was mishearing them.
Whose boat has stalled on the river. Charismatic and charming, Sharon possesses a vast knowledge of the Shirishama and volunteers to lead the filmmakers directly to the elusive tribe. But the manipulative Sharon is actually a poacher in pursuit of his own mad dream, a lethal 40-foot anaconda, the largest and most vicious killer snake in the world. And so begins a terrifying journey into a nightmare as Sharon literally leads his unwilling followers into the jaws of death. An adventure few will live to tell.
Ew. So what do we love? Let's talk about what we liked about it.
I like the snakes.
Snakes are kind of cool. Yeah, I used to have one a long time ago. Of course, it was a ball python, so the longest it would have gotten was about 6 feet. Not a very big snake. But I don't know if
6 feet, not very long.
Well, for a snake, you know, we're talking snakes that are getting 20 feet long and more. So, yeah, 6 feet's not that big. And at the time, I was a big partier, so feeding it mice didn't bother me at all. But now I don't think I could feed mice or other rodents to us.
Okay, what about the movie did you like?
Okay, I like the setting.
Yeah, the Amazon setting is really cool.
And
very
apparently
pretty.
they filmed most of the river scenes there in Brazil. And the atmosphere that created then, being in the jungle, that created this really nice atmosphere for the movie. It was very legitimate.
It was authentic.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for, actually. Thank you. I like the character arc development, which I'll talk about more when we talk about actors and characters.
Yeah.
I like the sly looks between Soron and Mateo. It was a good. This is supposed to be like a
I
conversation.
know. I'm trying to think of, because there was something specific that I was like, oh, that was good. I'm trying to think of what it was. No.
Oh, ow. It was a pretty good build up too. It was pretty suspenseful. It had some really scary moments,
Mm-hmm.
and moments that kind of made you tense up and make you afraid of snakes.
A little bit, and it was a little like Jaws in the fact that they actually didn't show the snake at the very beginning. They
Right.
waited a little bit before they even showed it. So.
Yeah, I think they could have waited even a little bit longer
little
before
longer,
showing
yeah.
it. I think that would have been a little bit better, a little bit more of a build up.
Like maybe not show it with the panther and make
Yeah.
the big reveal when it comes up.
Right,
And he's
like
trying
maybe show it, insinuate that it had it, but not really show its head.
Right.
I mean, you could show the body, but not the head yet, because
Yes.
the body can be misleading. So, yeah, I think that
Should have saved it for when he was trying to fish for it, basically.
Yeah, that would have been much scarier. I like the effects too. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
nowadays special effects are a lot more sophisticated.
As far as the CGI goes, especially.
Especially, yeah, but I think for the time, I mean, this is 1997. These were great effects at that time.
CGI was still brand new as well, so
Yeah,
you
I
got to
mean,
kind of
this
give them a
is
break. on
almost
that.
as old as this guy.
Almost. But the practical effects of the puppet, the animatronic snake, was really good, and it
Yeah.
still looks really good now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
puppets are
else?
awesome.
Mostly I prefer practical
Practical.
effects.
Yeah.
There is a time when you should use CGI, but I don't think it should be used as extensively as it is nowadays.
It shouldn't be used as a crutch,
Yeah.
which I feel it is. It just gets
Yeah.
overused. So anyway, that's something else. That's a whole nother tangent. I generally like the movie. There are a few parts that I'm kind of like, whatever. But I think it's mostly the stuff that you said. It did have good cinematography, good setting, and all that. I liked this snake. It was very cool and very big.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Like, I would pee my pants if I saw a snake that big out in the open, out in the wild, in the water. I'd be like, we need a bigger boat.
Wrong franchise.
Well, you made a reference to it, so I had to say
True.
that.
There was something else specific too that I was like, oh, that's cool, but I can't remember what it was right now. Maybe it'll come back to me later.
Yeah, we can always like overall thoughts or whatever. Okay, so what we didn't like. There were times when J-Lo spoke too quietly without really enunciating. Like, she did this thing where she would talk, but she would talk like this. And so it made it hard to understand her sometimes, especially with like the ambiance noise going on in the background or music or whatever might have been happening at that time. That was a little annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
There was a few cuts too
Yeah.
that were kind of weird, and like it looks like they probably cut a little bit out, because I noticed it whenever what's her face was like after Gary had died and she was crying and she looks up at him and how dare you and all that. It was showing him and then it cut to her and then it cut to him again, and all of a sudden he's holding her wrists, but I don't think she ever like hit him or anything. So there was that, and then there was also like what
That
you
one with
the snake.
Woodridge?
Woodridge?
Westridge.
Westridge.
Don't ever put W's and R's together. Westridge. So it's, I don't want to give much away, but there's a scene where there's a lot of snakes, and he's there smoking a cigarette, and then all of a sudden, there's a little baby snake wrapped around his finger, and it bites the tip of his
Yeah.
finger. Like, if you would have felt that, he would have been trying to get that thing off before it had a chance to bite him, but all of a sudden it's just there.
Yeah.
And that was a little annoying too. I mean,
There's a few other things like that. So I'm thinking there must have been a little bit more to those scenes that they just cut out.
Yeah, so I would really like to see a director's cut or, a different cut than what is on this video.
Or at least find the deleted scenes, because
Yeah.
this doesn't have anything on it.
Maybe we should look for them individually because we'll probably find it
Maybe.
then. Yeah, that was a little annoying actually. Also, if a snake is going to eat something, you're not going to see the eyes caved in. You're not going to see the mouth caved in. You're going to see a lump in that snake. Okay, so that was just a little bit ridiculous that they showed
Yeah.
sunken eyes and a sunken part where the mouth was. It's
Yeah.
a little much.
This movie does kind of dip into B territory sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Like overall, it's actually pretty
Like the
good,
snake
large snake
screaming.
movie. I was just gonna say that the snake makes noise and like it screams.
Yeah, like whenever you shoot it or whatever, it screams. I mean, my snake never screamed. My snake never made a sound except maybe a couple of. That's it. That's it. It never screamed. Of course, I never shot it in its head, but I don't know. Tell me if you've ever heard a snake scream. Because if you have never heard a snake scream, and if snakes don't scream, they won't scream when they're big. I'm just saying. Okay. Oh, and then the cheat, too. There was a scene when they wanted to get 2 characters alone on the boat, and so they had everybody else get off. Okay, fine. But the way they did it, it was a cheat. Because there was absolutely no reason for 2 of them to go this way and only one to go that way.
Yeah.
No reason. So, I mean, there were a couple other moments like that where it was just a cheat. That's all it was.
Yeah, just to get certain characters to certain spots.
Right.
Or away from each other or
And
whatever.
then, I mean, because I don't want to give too much away.
I know.
So one character gets tranquilizer dart in the back and starts losing consciousness, then falls in the water. The dart comes out, but he was already losing consciousness when he hit the water. Does that water just wake him up?
Bring it out?
Well, did it like take away that, because he was starting to go to sleep?
Yeah, I know.
So does that just all of a sudden wake him up? So now that the tranquilizer serum or whatever is not working anymore just because you fell in the water? And then, to go on top of that, how did this person get over to this other place before the boat did? So it's just little things like that didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What else? Anything?
I
I feel like I'm still doing most of the talking. That's why you should write it down.
I know. No, I think that was mostly it.
Yeah, I mean,
as
it
far
was
as the things that were kind of off.
yeah, it just, if you're not looking to pull it apart, it's fine.
See, that's one thing too about my problem with a lot of other movie reviewers. Everybody loves to nitpick on stuff, and I'm just like, these are just movies, They're meant as entertainment. They're meant as an escape from everyday life. So for these people to pick apart every single little thing and be like, oh, this wasn't realistic. This was, it's like, of course not. It's a movie. It's not supposed to be realistic to a point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like something like this it's like based in reality, it should then make sense.
Yeah, because theoretically something like this could happen because, documentary crews go
big
all over the place and snakes do get big. So, but yeah, but I'm talking just generally speaking when people complain about something being unrealistic or whatever.
Oh yeah, like they go over the
it annoys me so much. It's like it's a movie.
And even on good movies. And you're just going,
really?
What planet are you from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, rant over.
The actors and characters. They had really an interesting cast, I felt.
Yeah, it was a very
yeah, like John
all over the
Boyd,
place.
Ice Cube, Jonathan Hyde, all in the
J-Lo.
same movie. Yeah, it was pretty. But John Boyd is amazing.
Yeah, he's really good as Cerrone.
Yes, I mean he is a creepy guy. I wouldn't have. I would be like, okay, you get off at the next village. I don't want you on my boat. You freaky.
Yeah.
So amazing. But I mean, especially since really the only other thing I've ever seen him in was Bratz, where he played like this airhead dad. And so to see the two, it's just he's an incredible actor, and I don't think he gets enough fan play or whatever.
Fan play?
Whatever. What is it? I don't. My brain don't want to work.
Clearly.
What?
Seen him in other stuff.
Huh?
You've seen him in other stuff.
Probably, but
He didn't want to be in the video. Hush.
Tomb Raider,
Oh,
National
Tomb Raider.
National Treasure.
And then Ice Cube had great facial reactions. He played Danny. Oh my gosh, I loved his facial and some of his responses because he made it kind of ghetto the way he responded to some of the things, but it was classic. It was so awesome. That was one of his favorite characters.
Oh yeah, he was probably one of the best, most relatable characters in the movie. Because he was the most realistic about stuff. Like, there's snakes out there this big.
I'm going back to LA where there ain't no snakes.
You're right. He was one of the funniest characters for
Yes.
sure.
And I like the camaraderie that developed between him and Westridge, which was played by Jonathan Hyde.
Because there's polar opposites.
Yeah, because Jonathan Hyde played like this snobby actor, narrator, whatever. Thought that other people should be doing stuff for him, carrying his luggage and stuff. And of course, Danny's a cameraman. And just the dynamics between them. I mean, they first think that Westridge is just a snob and hoity-toity, but they develop this friendship.
Yeah, and he becomes one of the favorite characters too.
Oh, yeah.
Westridge.
Yes.
He's got some good lines as well.
Yep. Should I do it one more time just to be sure?
Right.
That's probably my favorite line in there.
Bashing somebody on the head. Somebody being Cerrone.
I was trying not to give that away.
But I think it even said back here, Cerrone, the charismatic and charming, but then manipulative.
Yes, but why wasn't going to tell them what Westridge did?
Okay, whatever. Anyway, too late.
Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Jacob doesn't know how to keep the rules. Okay, anyway. Any other... I mean, J-Lo did pretty good.
She was
thought,
okay.
you know?
There was, after they brought What's-His-Face back on board, that was a pretty good reaction to him not breathing and all that.
Yeah.
That little bit.
Yeah.
Before he was on the board, it was kind of not so much, but after they brought him back, it was like, okay, that's better.
Yeah, it was kind of hit and miss with her. She did have
Yeah.
some really good moments, though. There's one time when her and Danny are tied up, and she looks at the camera, looks at Cerrone. The way she looks, you got the feeling that she had been knocked out or whatever, and she was trying to gain consciousness. She did that really well too. Maybe she's had practice. I don't know. I don't know.
And then Owen Wilson just looked like a surfer dude.
Yeah, like he always. But it was a more serious role for him. I mean, everybody's used to him in comedies, but this was really kind of a serious role.
Yeah,
for
like
him.
he didn't have many quips like he usually does.
Yeah,
So
and then Carrie too. She's not. She's. When this movie was made, she had more credits to her name, but on the box, it doesn't even mention her.
yeah, her name's not on the back.
But Owen had only 3, and 2 of them were basically the same one. But he only had like 2 or 3 credits to his name when this was made, yet he's on the box. Go figure. But anyway,
She was good too.
She's a pretty good actress. I haven't really seen her in a lot of stuff either, but she's a pretty good actress. Really cute girl. In this she was. I mean, I guess she's a woman now. She's probably my age or close to it.
If not,
I don't think she's older.
I don't know.
I wouldn't think she was older. Anyway, I mean, you can take the age. I don't think. Other actors, anything? Even Danny Trejo, like, he's been in some. Well, he's done the Machete movies, which I've never seen.
We know him from
previews.
Spy Kids.
Yeah. There's something else too.
Oh gosh.
There's a couple other things that we know him from, but anyway, he just had a very small part at the
Yeah.
beginning, and he looks so young in there. We're so used to him being kind of
Yeah.
thicker and older. So it was. Oh, that's Danny Trejo. Trejo? Yeah, I said it right. It's fine. Okay. Overall thoughts.
I enjoy the movie. It's fun. I do think it's probably one of the best big snake movies because there's quite a few of those. Because there are a lot of big other big animal movies. Like there's a lot of big shark movies. There's a lot of
Just crazy animal movies
yeah, in general.
that
So.
are coming to get you.
But as far as like the snake ones goes, I think this was probably one of the best ones.
I agree.
Minus those few little things that bring it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had a good storyline, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
It developed characters throughout the movie. You know, they had story arcs or character arcs rather.
Yeah.
So it was. I feel like it was pretty well written. It was just a minor thing here and there that kept it from being like grade A. The cast was good too. They have good chemistry, so I don't really have a problem with this, and I can overlook those things. The things that don't make sense, I can overlook that stuff because I do enjoy the movie.
Yeah, and see that's something else too. Like people focus on those little things so much that they just kind of forget to just enjoy the movie.
Yeah, they forget about the rest of the movie, the parts that were really good.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good in this movie, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, even my grandma watched it and she was afraid of snakes. Yeah, she sure did. So rating? I give it a big smiley face. I do. Not necessarily the hard eyes.
Not the hard eyes, but yeah, the big
But big
smiley
smiley face, because I've seen this movie several times. I enjoy it every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care that it doesn't make sense all the time, but you don't have to focus on that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should.
No.
Really.
No, especially now during quarantine. Don't
Oh my gosh.
Don't be such a critic that you just come out hating. That's just going to breed more hatefulness. Don't you guys get that? Oh, these critics. They need to understand that the more that they hate on stuff, the more hate that builds up in their hearts. So I guess that's why maybe we try to focus more on the positive aspects of the films.
Maybe.
Unless it's just something that's just glaring in your
Blatantly, like, terrible.
Yeah. But then sometimes it's meant to be that way, so take it as you can take it. Whatever. Whatever. I'm so looking forward to this 3-day work week.
Yes.
Yay! Alright, so I'm not excited at all. That was Anaconda, our review of it. Have you seen this movie? If so, tell us what you think of it. Don't be shy. Nobody's going to condemn you. We won't allow it. We'll just take those nasty comments away. Yeah, only good comments. We have to be nice and respectful to people. Yeah.
Okay. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Help us get to 1,000 subscribers, please and thank you. Because we would like to eventually open a Patreon and do some special stuff with special people. And then there was another one. Oh, Reddit. We should start working on our Reddit too. Yeah, we can make money off of it. Who knew? I didn't know. I don't know anything about all this newfangled stuff.
I know a little bit.
We just want to up our game, and we cannot do that without your input. So please comment down below, and we will see you Wednesday for a game, probably ours, because I'm not done with that one yet.
Almost, because once it's past the maze...
You keep saying that.
No, because once you finish the maze levels, then it's the castle, the Queen's
How
Castle.
many levels are there, though, of the maze?
About 4, 5,
Oh my
maybe
goodness.
6.
I'm doomed. And then Friday is Fun Friday. We also need suggestions for Fun Friday because
Yes, please.
Because we do have to work regular jobs, and because I do have school outside of this, and then Jacob's working on his own things as well. So sometimes our brains are just mush, and we can't think of anything really fun for Fun Friday. So give us some tips below or suggestions below. Thank you very much. Okay,
I think this is going to be really long.
that's Jacob.
That's Mickey.
Toodles!
Bye.